Hey, what's up? This is 20 Questions with Pop Sizzle Bang. Today's topic is emotional well-being. What would you tell your younger self about managing stress? I would start by telling him to slow down, to breathe. I would teach him about managing the strange eye. I'd be like, okay, so you need to draw a horizontal line in front of you with your hand while taking a 4-count inhale breath. And then you need to draw a vertical line down while taking a 4-count inhale breath. And then you complete the box. Control your strange eye. If you could give one piece of advice to someone struggling with anxiety, what would it be? I struggle with grounding exercises. Like box breathing I can handle, but naming all the things that are blue in my surrounding environment, or 5 things I can see, 4 things I can smell, 3. These are really good ways to ground yourself when you're having an anxiety attack. Literally go outside with bare feet and put your feet in the grass. Just close your eyes and look up at the sun and take 10 deep breaths. How would you explain the importance of self-care in one sentence? Self-care replenishes the mental health bar on your heads-up display. What's your go-to strategy for lifting your mood on a bad day? When I wear my Mary Jane shoes. Or I just play video games. If you could recommend one book for emotional healing, what would it be? In the summer of 2001, this man found my backpack in the woods and he gave me this book, The Wisdom of Insecurity by Alan Watts. What is a simple daily habit that has greatly improved your emotional well-being? I can't even begin to list the benefits of exercising. If you could share one coping mechanism for sadness, what would it be? Okay, so I've always wanted to share this. So the first book I took out from a library when I was 12 years old was a black book with a white candle on it, and it was called Suicide. I have this coping mechanism for when I'm feeling like actively suicidal. Well, I don't use it anymore because I don't feel actively suicidal or passively suicidal anymore. So I would just go sit in the shower and I would imagine what happens after I die, everyone finding out that I'm dead and how my parents react and how my friends everyone cries and everyone's sad that I'm dead and then I don't want to die anymore. And it feels really good to imagine going through it and actually doing some what's a healthy way to handle feelings of overwhelm? I'm honestly so guilty of just buckling under overwhelm and then more things pile up on top of the overwhelm and you end up having this big pile of overwhelm. The best thing you can do is just recognize your strange eye, draw your box breathings, and then prioritize 3 things that you can get done in the next 1 hour. If you could give one piece of advice to someone experiencing burnout, what would it be? It goes away it kind of goes away. If you don't rest, then it doesn't totally go away, but it kind of goes away because it slows you down, so you're slowed down, so you're not as burnt out over but if you don't shut down all the things that are burning you out for 2 weeks, depending on how bad your burnout is, it's not going to get better. What is your favorite technique for practicing gratitude? I don't really have a great gratitude practice. I should work on that. Honestly, catching myself thinking that I should have some gratitude and being able to go forward with 10 minutes of gratitude practice. Reminding myself of the reasons why I'm grateful for those things. Do you believe that seeking therapy or mental health support is a sign of weakness, or do you see it as a vital step in achieving emotional strength? Honestly, I think that if you have mental health problems and you need to be put on medication, then you should seek some kind of help from a psychiatrist, or if you have emotional well-being problems and you need to see a therapist, then you should book some time in with a therapist. What role does your social media play in your emotional state? I think that because I tend to be more isolated, I use more social media. I guess if we really wanted to get into the logistics of psychology, it does give me it's I'm not actually having a conversation with anyone while I'm doom scrolling, but I'm still getting all of the highlights from all of their feeds. I need to scroll through my social media feeds within 30 minutes of waking up or else I have a complete panic attack. Do you believe that the stigma surrounding mental health issues is changing for the better, or do you think society still largely dismisses the importance of emotional well-being? I've always felt like there's such resistance around talking about mental illness. Like there's such a stigma around mental illness. Like I'm not always in crisis anymore, so I'm not always at that point where I need emotional support. That's because my mental health is so much better than it was like 10 years ago when dealing with like triggers and stressors and unresolved trauma and shit. The fact that I'm like, hey, what's up? This is Pop Sizzle Band. I feel very stigmatized sometimes. It just looks kind of pathetic. Like when my Instagram, before my Instagram was disabled, it was like all of my content goes up sometimes like 3 times a day. There's new content. And like not many engagements, not many likes, not many views. And I like have that glam highlight where it's shit like this. Like a millennial. Tell me about a time when you experienced really bad emotional well-being and what helped you overcome or change that situation. Honestly, from like September 2020 until like July of 2024, my emotional well-being was like dipping in and out of these very like near crisis, like experiencing so much like trauma, like my whole Cancer moon progression through Scorpio was the worst for like emotional well-being. So I just hung around because it gets better. And just last week, my Cancer moon started its progression through Sagittarius. Sometimes it's just, I have this like technique. So if you want to like end your life, like you're thinking of like suiciding yourself, you have to like give yourself 21 days, okay? Because you need to try 4 bubble tea flavors, okay, that you haven't tried yet, okay, in those 21 days. Standing on like a bridge or like looking into like moving traffic or like in the bathtub with candles. Just trust me, okay? I've also heard that putting your head in a freezer when you are emotionally dysregulated